Welcome to Talk of the Town. You're tuned into WDBX 91.1. It sure is a sunny Monday morning, but it's a very cold one. Be careful out there as all this ice and snow is melting and kind of refreezing and just doing its crazy winter havoc thing. But we're here. Thanks so much for tuning in today. All right, you know the spiel. I'm going to give you all some announcements before introducing my guest and diving into today's topic. So this upcoming weekend, there will be a multitude of celebrations as it is Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday the 20th. So some really cool events coming up. One of those is the MLK Love Train. This will be this Saturday on January 18th. You may have heard me talking to Carla Childs and Coach Wimbo about some of these events last week on the show. But so Saturday, January 18th, this MLK Love Train, it's a car brigade, if you will, and it will be meeting at Harrisburg, kicking off at about 10:30. The car train is going to start at 11 a.m. At the Bowman Business Center. Then they're going to stroll through Marion by around 11:20, meet up at the Ray Fossey Park, then coming into Carbondale at noon at the Murdale Shopping Center. And then it's going to end in Murfreesboro at the Davis McCann Center, and a party is going to kick off at 1 o'clock. There'll be lunch, some speakers, some music, some dancing, all sorts of fun. And at these stations to pick up more cars and everything, there'll be opportunities to make some signs and decorate your car so people can drive through and show their support to honor MLK's legacy and honor and celebrate equality and diversity amongst us here today. So join in on that. Really cool time and super accessible, for those who wouldn't be able to join a march for this matter. You can be in your nice, warm, toasty car and be in the midst of others honking their horns and showing their love for the MLK Love Train. And Monday morning on MLK Jr. Day is the Martin Luther King Scholarship Breakfast, hosted by the Carbondale branch of the NAACP. Again, this is Monday, January 20th at 7:30 a.m. This event is held at the SIU Student Center. $10 for adults, $5 for kids. We have an SIU alum, Taylor Lawrence, speaking at this. Yes, a really great way to go, and the money goes to support the scholarship for an SIU student. And they're also going to be raising food donations, gathering food donations for the SIU Food Pantry. So if you attend this breakfast and you're able to also bring some non-perishable foods, that would be greatly appreciated. All right, something I want to shout out. A couple weeks ago, we had some folks from FoodWorks on here, and tomorrow, January 14th, Tuesday, is the Southern Illinois Farming Alliance Conference. This is held out at the Marion Pavilion from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So really awesome opportunity if you are a small farmer or you're looking to farm or you just want to know more about food production from local farmers in our area. Join in this event. I just saw that they have waived the registration fee and there's lunch included. So if you want to visit fwsoil.org, that's fwsoil.org, for more info on this conference tomorrow. There is still time and space to join in. So again, if you want to learn more about how food production works in your community, or you're looking to be someone to produce local organic food in your community, really awesome event tomorrow at the Pavilion over in Marion, Illinois, January 14th, 9 to 4. All right, and one more thing I just want to put on the radar that's just out there in the ether at all times for you to partake in is Carbondale's in the midst of our next comprehensive plan. And so we have something going called Plan Carbondale. So we've had some in-person events, and at this time you can go online to plancarbondale.com, get more info on what a comprehensive plan is, and then share your ideas with us of what you would like to see grow here in Carbondale. So there will be another in-person session in the very near future, so please follow us on City of Carbondale Government on Facebook, or check out our website. We'll be putting out a press release about it. And yeah, so stay tuned for the next in-person session for Plan Carbondale. In the meantime, share your ideas with us online. All right, and all that being said, now it's time to move into the next portion of the show where I get to introduce you to our guest. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, Eva.
Today?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, y'all, so I have Terry Hickey here with us. We're going to be talking about the Women's Health Naturally conference coming up. It's coming up next month, February 22nd, but we wanted to get it on y'all's radar right now, so save the date. And yeah, Terry, how about tell us how you're involved with this workshop and this organization.
Yeah, thanks, Eva. So Women's Health Naturally, this is our 11th annual event.
Awesome.
We started it in 2014, and really what inspired the starting of it is I was doing some tabling for Dime for Herbals, because this is a project of Dime for Herbals, and people would always say, yeah, I want to do more natural things, but I don't know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
And so my mind started going. I would be handing out business cards of my practitioner friends and people that were doing really great things. And I thought, we need to do this together. We need to let the people of Southern Illinois know, excuse me, let the people of Southern Illinois know that there are natural health resources right here in Southern Illinois. We have naturopaths, we have functional medicine doctors, we have acupuncturists, we have herbalists, etc. And so that was the birth of Women's Health Naturally in 2014, and it has only grown since then. And now we're doing it at the Carbondale Civic Center. We've been doing it there actually since 2020.
Great.
And 40 natural health practitioners and providers will be there as vendors that people can meet in person. If you've never worked with an acupuncturist, if you can stand in front of one and have a conversation, you might learn that, oh, this might be something for me.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got vendors. We are, the theme this year is food is medicine and why that matters, which is a very important topic, which follows with your FoodWorks announcement.
Exactly, totally.
There's a lot of great organic food production happening in Southern Illinois,
Mm-hmm.
and we have Jill Rendelman on our panel. She's a local organic farmer, and she is going to be talking about soil, the health of soil,
Cool.
and how that impacts the quality of our food. We have Nina Donovan on the panel, who's a midwife. We have Susan Camille, who's a Chinese medicine doctor. We have Dr. Terry Harmon, who's a functional medicine doctor. And we have Marie Funk, who's a nutritionist and dietitian. So we're very excited about the theme. It's very important. And there will be a panel discussion for that throughout the day. We serve an organic lunch. We like to say this is an event where you not only learn about natural health and natural health resources, but you get to experience natural healthy lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
because of the conference topic, because of the organic lunch that is included in all the registrations,
Mm-hmm.
because of the movement we're doing at the end of the day. Pat
Okay.
York and Laura Halderson are choreographing a sound therapy and movement dance. We like to end the day with movement because after talking all day, it's really good to get back into your body.
Totally.
So we're very excited about this event. We want to let everybody know it's called Women's Health Naturally, but it's an all-inclusive event.
Okay,
Men and children are welcome at this event.
great.
We named it Women's Health Naturally because women's health has been underexplored
Mhm.
over the decades. But many of the topics, and especially food as a topic, is really relevant to everybody.
Yes.
So all are welcome to come to this event on
All right.
February 22nd. It's an all-day event, and please plan on coming. Bring your daughter, bring your husband, bring your partner, bring whoever.
Yeah.
And it's a really great event.
Yeah, fantastic. That's great. I'm glad you touched on that because I was wanting to ask about, Women's Health Naturally, but, I've seen this event take place before and know that it spans across the board to everybody. Yeah,
Right.
that
Right.
it is catered as a more inclusive event in that way.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely. And there are men that are vendors as well. We have
Mhm.
Dr. Terry Harmon, who's not only a vendor but a sponsor and on the panel. Caleb Snyder of Snyder Physique is also a sponsor of the event. We have Midwest Medical Thermography is a sponsor of the event,
Mhm.
and Zenzino is a sponsor of the event. So we have a lot of really good people behind this event to help bring all of this information to Southern Illinois.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, no, I love how you pointed out how that ties into, everything we're talking about with FoodWorks and everything. And that's such a heightened conversation here in
Right.
Southern Illinois. I think it's food it's a topic that's important to everybody, right? Everyone's got to eat.
Right.
But especially here in, we're in this rural community where so many people grew up either on a farm or knowing someone with a farm. You visit your cousin's house on a farm on the weekends or whatnot. And now we see food being grown in just a multitude of different ways. And I think that people are thinking about it differently, talking about it differently. And I'm really interested, you said that a lot of the conversation is going to be about soil health. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about that a little more, and then kind of how it ties into one's health? I know this will be discussed at length at the conference, but if you could maybe give people a little bit of an understanding on that.
Well, think about soil as the bloodline of food. Mm-hmm. So the quality of your soil is really going to impact the nutritional value of your food. I mean, that's the simplest way to put it.
Sure.
And this is why organic soil and quality of organic soil is so important, because that really impacts the nutritional quality of the food.
Okay.
And that's one of the things we're going to touch on is with the convenience society that we live in, with the processed food that people rely on, what really is the impact that has on our health? And it's big.
Sure.
And it's a lot bigger than people give it credit for. So we'll be touching on that and really help educate people on what is in your food and how is that impacting your physical, mental, emotional health. And I think people will be really excited to hear this information. I think in some instances probably really surprised to hear really the impact that the food has on our bodies. And we're even going to be touching on kind of the different times of life. Are you a pregnant mom? Are you going through menopause? What are the food issues that are really important at different stages of our life?
Sure, totally. And interested too on, because with these kind of conversations around this type of food, and it's like when you talk about convenience and the processed foods, and it is a matter of convenience, right? And so often that is what people have easier access to. So I'm so curious with this, will there be talks around like accessibility and how to get that food, that rich, nutrient, fresh, organic food a little more easily into your life?
Right. No, that's a really good question, because on some level there's this myth out there that eating good, healthy, organic food is too expensive.
Sure.
And in some instances it is, and that's a whole other conversation. But I think stores like Town Square Market that has done non-GMO organic food for almost 2 decades, and they're actually the ones catering the lunch. They have offered classes over and over again on how to eat healthy on a budget.
Okay, cool.
And there are so many ways that people can do that, but it does require a little bit of cooking.
Yeah.
And this is the hurdle that a lot of people have to get over. It's like you have to cook a little bit, not a lot, but you have to cook a little bit to actually get healthy, affordable food. And then there are prepared foods that are organic and healthy as well. Again, there's a number of stores in the area that offer that, and I think people just have to become more educated on what it is they're buying and what the impact that has on their body.
Yeah.
Because it's an investment in your health. A lot of people will say, well, it's too expensive. Well, how expensive is that when 10, 20 years down the line, you end up with an autoimmune disease because you ate processed foods that were tainted with toxic chemicals? These are the things that we have to really keep in mind when we make these choices.
Sure, absolutely. And yeah, there are so many ways to get creative with it, with those fresh foods. And yeah, I know like places like the co-op and at the farmers market often do link match, where you can get, if you buy so much produce or whatnot, and then they'll match that with your link points.
Right. The farmers market's a great place for people to get organic food as well. Yeah,
and really like prices there are super comparable, if not oftentimes cheaper than what you could get at the chain grocery stores and everything.
Right, exactly.
And it's just so fresh.
Exactly.
And we talked about that on Foodworks too, of like, I am someone who, I don't cook a ton. I maintain a balance of my processed foods and my fresh foods, and but I always have so much more fun cooking after I've gone to the farmer's market. Than if I just run to the grocery store, because you have that connection, you have that story, you have that and like, oh, I bought these sweet potatoes from that sweet man whose booth was at the end of the row.
Right.
And then you think about that, and you get to tie that all in, and it's so much a community involvement.
Right, it's a relationship thing. It's a relationship with each other, it's a relationship with our food, it's a relationship with our body. You know, really leaning into that is really important.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the link card. I think that is such a great service. And I think a lot of people don't know that it exists. And the Town Square Market has it.
Oh,
and
fantastic.
as many people know, the Town Square Market and the Long Branch are emerging and going to become the Branch Cafe and Market.
Great.
And they intend to continue the link program at the new restaurant and cafe market.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So you'll be able to use it at the restaurant too.
Well, I'm not entirely sure how it'll go.
Okay,
if it'll be on prepared foods, I don't understand all the ins and outs of Link.
Sure.
I do know that the intention is to bring that over because it already exists at the Town Square Market.
Very cool. And I understand you're going to be offering like local meat there as well. This whole time, you know, that's been a strictly vegetarian place. So branching out, if you will.
Yes, we're offering meat and fish. You'll be able to get a hamburger. You'll be able to get a tuna melt, and you'll be able to get all of the favorite Long Branch vegetarian items.
Okay.
We're keeping the main menu will still exist for those who are fans of all of that.
Sweet. And what's the kind of timeline on that? Do you have a rough idea?
Well, there's actually going to be a very, very, very soft opening this Wednesday. People can come in and get coffee and pastries and a couple little items.
Gotcha.
While we're still working on the space, you can poke your head in and see what's going on over there. And then we're hoping, we're trying to just keep everything moving along. We're hoping to be open by the middle of February.
Okay, great. Good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal. Cool.
So, can I touch on the Women's Networking Breakfast?
Absolutely. I was going to ask. I knew you had something else you wanted to share with us.
So so this Thursday, the Women's Networking Breakfast, which we're in the third year of that, it's a quarterly gathering of women, again, from all over Southern Illinois. We have business people, we have health practitioners, we have artists, we have moms. It really started 2.5 years ago. A few of us got together for lunch after COVID when we've all been so isolated and we weren't getting together. And we were learning about new businesses that people were starting or businesses that closed and needed support. And so we thought, let's get together. We need to just come together, meet each other, introduce ourselves to each other, and network. And it's a very simple intention. We come together for an hour and a half, 8:30 a.m. this Thursday, January 16th. Since the Long Branch is temporarily closed, we're doing it at Art Space 304.
Okay.
And so 8:30 on Thursday the 16th. And we come together, we meet, we introduce and network and bring flyers, and we laugh, we hear each other's stories. It's really a very simple but powerful gathering that you don't really have to prepare for. Hey, ladies, you don't have to prepare for this. Just show up.
Yeah, great.
And we do ask people to RSVP. It's just helpful to know. People can go to womenshealthnaturally.org and they can RSVP for the Women's Networking Breakfast. They can also register for the Women's Health Naturally Expo. So both things are happening simultaneously. But we love to start the new year off with Women's Networking Breakfast to bring people together and just kind of share together.
Yeah, totally. Cool. And I like that, it's just open to anybody. You don't have to be a business owner or an event organizer. You can just be anyone. Just come on in, see what's going on.
We've had so many new women in the area that have just moved here and somehow heard about it, and they've come, and it gives them a chance to meet 30 or 40 women in one meeting. We've had 80-year-old women come with their daughter who said, I saw the flyer and I needed to be there. And we got to hear her story, and it's just really super sweet.
Nice. Very good. Yeah, cool. Well, lots of opportunities coming up to just, learn a bit more about these things. So that breakfast, and then save the date, y'all, for Women's Health Naturally, February 22nd. Terry, we got about 10 minutes left. So if you're just tuning in, talking to Terry Hickey, the director for Women's Health Naturally, and she's telling us all about the conference coming up February 22nd and a networking breakfast coming up this Thursday. So I just want to make sure that, with the time we have left, if there's anything else we haven't touched on yet that you want to share about these events or anything else.
Well, one thing I want to add about Women's Health naturally are a couple things, but one thing is we have a few booths left.
Okay.
So if there are any vendors out there who offer natural healthcare products or are natural health practitioners, we'd love to see you there. We have about 10 or 11 booths left, and that's out of 40, so don't wait too long. The deadline technically is this Wednesday, though we may push it out another week or so. So I want to let people know that. It's a great place to network with other vendors as well for the vendor involvement. And we've had probably hundreds of people come through this over the years, and many people, it's been life-changing for them. I think a lot of people, as I started the conversation, a lot of people want to do more natural things, but they don't know where to start. And it's a little intimidating if you don't know a lot about natural health. How are you going to go seek a natural health practitioner?
Sure.
So this is a very safe, nurturing environment for people to mill around at their own pace and interact with the vendors at their tables, to listen in on the panel discussion. In the afternoon, there'll be about 4 mini workshops. Some of the sponsors and vendors want to go a little more in depth about what they're offering. So I think that will be really helpful for people to be able to engage that way. And as I mentioned, the organic lunch and the movement, it's just a great day to learn and be together. And I think a lot of people have made lifestyle choices differently upon learning more about what's available and what they can do and why they should maybe make some of these changes. I think sometimes we need the why in order to make that jump over to something healthier. So yeah, and we're excited about the theme, food is medicine, why it matters. I think that applies to everybody and at all stages of life.
Yeah.
And I think our panel is very diverse, and I think that will be very informative. Anita Brown, who's going to be the facilitator of the panel, she's a naturopath and functional medicine practitioner herself. So she'll be giving the context of what is kind of the state of our food in our society at this time, and why does food matter? Why do the food choices we make matter? So I think it'll be very engaging that way.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is our 11th annual. It's all inclusive. We mentioned that earlier, but I think it's important to emphasize that. We get a lot of good men that come to it. We encourage people to bring their kids, their teenagers especially. The earlier people can learn about natural, healthy lifestyle choices, the healthier they're going to be throughout their life. I mean, how many people have you heard that are going through menopause and they say, oh wow, if I had known this in my 30s, I would have made different choices. I hear that all the time.
Sure.
And it's, there's the question pops up into my mind is, why don't we know these things? Why isn't this information readily available for us to be able to make those kinds of choices?
Yeah.
And so this is just our small attempt to bring kind of a movement of natural health to the area.
Great.
And I hope that it serves for everybody.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and I think it's like you said, like it can be intimidating, like, oh, where do I start? And going into something like this with the understanding of you don't have to come out the other side having changed your lifestyle completely. Even if you just add and integrate one change or one practice, that can make a difference, and then build upon that throughout time.
Absolutely. I get that question all the time with Dime for Herbals. People will say, well, what tincture should I take? I've got this going on, this going on, this going on. And I'm like, well, what's the most important thing going on right now?
Yeah.
Just tackle one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Because then you'll learn more. Everything's connected. And that's one of the things I love about functional medicine, which we'll be getting a taste of from many of the practitioners. It ties it all together. We don't realize that our hormones are connected to our adrenal system, connected to our digestive system, and how that all connects together. And really, if you can focus on one or two of those things, a lot of those other issues might go away. By virtue of you focusing on what's most important at this time. So I think, like you said, a lot of people go, oh my God, where do I start? Or I've got so many things going on. And, you know, getting some guidance from a natural health practitioner, and also just making some choices yourself on what do you think is the most important thing for you to focus on.
Yeah, awesome. I love it. Just a few minutes left here. Do you have any sort of anecdote from one of these conferences from the past, or something that's made an impact with you working on these conferences that you'll carry with you?
Yeah, I think there's a couple. There was one woman that was there last year, and one of the things she said to me is like, oh my God, I thought I had to go to St. Louis for all these services.
Okay, yeah.
And she was kind of blown away by the amount of services that were available here in Southern Illinois. So I think that kind of piqued my interest and curiosity. I was like, yeah, that's so true. We feel like we have to go to the big cities for the real healthcare or whatever. So that was one thing, and then we have people that come year after year, and I've asked them, like, why do you keep coming back, right? You know, because sometimes people think, oh, I've been there once, I get it, you know, I know what's going on, I know what I need to do. But this one woman in particular just said, she goes, I come every year because I learn a little bit more every year. There's always a slightly different angle that you guys take on what we're focusing on. There's always a handful of new vendors, actually a number of new vendors, and I just really enjoy learning, and it kind of reinforces her practice of making the right choices with her lifestyle.
Awesome. Yeah, and like we were just saying, if you just take one thing away from it each year and then add that into your life, and then come and take on more.
Exactly.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, well, reminder of this date, because this one is still, it's, you know, we're here, January 13th. So this is over a month away still. Women's Health Naturally Expo and Workshops, Saturday, February 22nd. It will start at 9 a.m., go to 4 p.m., held at the Carbondale Civic Center. Theme this year, food is medicine, why it matters. So if you're interested in signing up for this, you can register at womenshealthnaturally.org. There is still space for vendors available, but not a ton of space for vendors, so get in there while you can. All right, well, Terry, thank you so much for coming on today. Really appreciate it. Sure thing. And yeah, go out there and lots of talk about food. We're going to keep that up this year. I think it's going to be a theme, is our local food. It keeps us strong, keeps our community strong, and is really important in this day and age. So, yep, it's all, like we've been saying here, it's all connected. So, thank you so much for tuning in to Talk of the Town. We will catch you next week, and we hope you all have a wonderful wintry week. Again, be safe as this snow and ice is melting out there. All right, everyone, up next you will be listening to Class Matters. Thanks so much for tuning in today.